What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Rick Knows Hoops. I'm your host, Tyreek, and today we are talking about players that I think are ready to have a breakout season. Now, this does not mean that I think some of these guys are going to be most improved player candidates, but I think it's time for some of these players to have the best season of their young careers. So with that being said, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Helps out the channel a lot. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers, and I can't get there if you guys don't subscribe. I appreciate it, and now let's get into the list. I tried to stray away from the obvious candidates. A lot of this is just straight off the top of my head of players that I've been keeping eyes on. I think obvious guys like Michael Porter Jr. There's going to be a lot more shots available. I think Terrence Mann's kind of an obvious candidate too. Maybe even like DeAndre Ayton's kind of obvious as well. So I try to, get some under the radar guys and maybe not everybody is aware of. But this first guy, everybody is aware of, but I think he is due to take a big leap in year 3, and that's Tyler Herro. I think Tyler Herro, after year 1, I like to compare his trajectory, not talent-wise, but just the way their careers began, kind of similar to Jason Tatum. Year 1, a lot of success, a deep playoff run, and he was getting big buckets in those playoff runs. He was one of the leading scorers of this Miami Heat team. And then year 2, Jason Tatum, his numbers went up, but I don't think production-wise with the eye test, it didn't look like he really improved much. Kind of similar to Tyler Herro last year, man. I mean, points per game was up, field goal percentage was up a little bit, three-point percentage was down. I think his win shares were down, or his PER was down. Like, it just wasn't like the great year 2 that maybe people were expecting. Maybe they wanted him to take a bigger jump than what he did. I think going into year 3, his role is going to be pretty defined. He's going to be coming off that Heat bench. And he's going to be asked to do one thing, that's control the second unit. And there's no Kendrick Nuns back there or anybody else really taking that role away from him. So I think now he has complete freedom in that second unit. He's been playing lights out in the preseason. He just had a baby too, and for some reason, NBA players say whenever they have a kid, it just elevates their play even more. JJ Redick said the best years of his career came after he had children. Fred VanVleet had great success after having his son. I think Tyler Herro's due for some success this season, and I think he's going to have a very good year. Would not be surprised at all if he's like near the top in 6 Man of the Year conversations. I think he's going to be that good this year. Now, he also said that he thinks he's on the same level of Trae Young, of Luka Doncic. I forget who else he named, but those were the 2 names that he put off top. And I'm like, I love the confidence, pipe down a little bit, but show us on the court. If you can show us that you are getting to elite status, hey, I'm all for the talking as long as you can back it up. The second guy on my list is kind of the reason why I'm making this video, as crazy as it sounds, because when I watched him in the preseason, I've been very impressed with the way he's been playing. His confidence level seems like it's up. And that is Mo Bamba. That's Mo Bamba. This is not, I'm not trying to joke, I'm not trying to play. I think Mo Bamba's going to have a really good year. And I think a lot of players on this Magic team are ready to have, good seasons. I think him and his teammate Wendell Carter, who I'm just throwing Wendell Carter in here too. I think these two together are ready to have breakout seasons. Mo Bamba's looked really good in the preseason. I think he's had a couple double-doubles. He just looked confident, man. His jumper looks confident. He knows that, he's like 7 foot. He can patrol the inside. He's been finishing, really well around the paint. He's due. Like, he is due to have a really good season. There's no Vucevic taking a lot of minutes. They've been playing Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter a lot together in the preseason. I'm interested how that dynamic will play out. But I think it could work well, kind of in a weird way. But they're a young team. There's going to be a lot of open opportunities for these young players. I think Mo Bamba, man, it can't really get too much worse. He averaged 8 points per game last season, which was a career best, and this is year 3. He's drafted in the star-studded draft class in 2018. So it's like, man, he's kind of due to have a really good season. So I'm expecting him to have a good year, at least get up to around like 12, 13 points per game, get your rebounds up a little bit, maybe to like 8. I'm expecting that kind of leap from Mo Bamba. And maybe that's not a breakout type of leap, but I think for a young player like him, who hasn't really had so many opportunities because he's been playing behind Vucevic his first 3 years of his career, never logged more than 16 minutes per game. It's time. It's time for him to have a really good season. And I think this upcoming season is going to be that year for him. Next guy on my list is another young guy on a young rebuilding team, and that is Darius Bazley, Ohio's very own. I think he's got so much potential to be a really good player. He's only like 21 years old. He's not, an old prospect by any means. He's still very young. Year 2, his points obviously went up because there were so many more shots. I mean, just look at this. His first year numbers, he averaged 5 shots per game. Year 2, 12.5 shots per game. So that's a drastic improvement. But his field goal percentage took a hit. He shot 39% and he shot 29 from 3. I'm expecting that to be improved this year. I think year 3 he's gonna go in. He's gonna know his role. It's gonna be pretty defined. I'm excited to see him this season. He started every game last season that he did play in. I think this year he's gonna have a really good, productive season. Somebody that has a lot of talent at that power forward position. Not just saying that because he's from Ohio, but I think he's really that talented. And this OKC team is gonna be very fun to watch. He has an added playmaker now in Josh Giddey. Shea's a very good playmaker too. I believe Darius Bazley is gonna have a very good year 3. You can put me on the record of saying that. And we got another Darius here. We have Darius Garland with the next guy on the list. And he took a nice jump in year 2. He did take a nice jump in year 2. His rookie year was not kind of a struggle. It was a little bit of a struggle. But year 2, he looked so much more confident. And he looked like he's going to be the lead guard of the future for this Cavs team. But I think the jump comes from him being a little unknown kind of in the NBA world. So I think everybody's going to know this man's name by the end of the season. I could see him jumping up to 20 points per game. He's an efficient scorer for such a small guard. Really effective free throw shooter. Shot almost 40% from 3 last year. I think he's got some added tools around him now with Evan Mobley. Still has Colin Sexton and Jarrett Allen. I think he's primed to take a nice leap in year 3. And it's gonna be interesting if they have to decide between Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. I think it's trajecting towards Darius Garland being the guy for the Cavs in the future. But it's about time that I think everybody this season will know the name Darius Garland. Now, when I started this video, I said most of these guys I don't think are going to be most improved player candidates. I think Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's the next guy on the list, is going to be a candidate for that award. Minutes are opened up. Like, minutes are going to be right there for Nickeil. He averaged 22 per game last season. He should get towards 30, 32, maybe 34 minutes a game. Because the Pelicans really desperately need somebody that can be a lead guard for them. I think Devontae Graham's more of a 2, and Nickeil's the best playmaker, I think, of the bunch. So he should get the bulk of those minutes, man. And in games where Alonzo Ball did not play, Nickeil was great last season. He was great last season. I think, as long as the opportunity is given, which it should be, but you never know with the Pelicans because they be doing some funny stuff sometimes. But I think, new coach and Willie Green should be very effective. I think Nickeil should get the lead ball handler role, and he is primed to have a very big season, man. One of the smoothest players in the league. You could tell that him and Shea are related because they both have very smooth games, very sound games, and they, kind of can control the offense similarly. And I think people are going to see how good Nickeil Alexander-Walker really is this season. Now, another guy that improved in his second season, I think, is ready to improve in his third year too, and his role is going to be very much defined as coming off the bench and scoring the ball. Jordan Poole. I talk to this with my friend Travis all the time. When Jordan Poole was in college, he's a Michigan fan. Jordan Poole went to Michigan. Even he said he did not see him becoming the type of player that he is now. Was really just more of a shooter in college, for the most part, because he played with a lot of talented ball handlers. But he's came into the league and he's taking people off the dribble. He's getting to the cup. He's finishing in the paint. He's dunking, shooting the 3-ball excellently. When you watch him off the ball, you could tell he's been around Steph Curry a lot because he does not stop moving without the basketball. Jordan Poole, he's been killing it in the preseason, and I think that's going to translate into the regular season. I think he's going to be killing it there too. Last guy I got on the list. This is more of a fan favorite pick for me because I've been a fan of this player since he was in college. And I just always thought he was such a sound player, but now with his starting point guard being hurt, he's going to have a chance to continue to do what he did in the postseason because he was killing in the postseason for his team. He's going to have the same opportunity to play most of the games at the starting point guard position this season. And that's Monte Morris. I think Monte Morris, very sound guy, always a low turnover, good assisting type of player. Been coming off the bench his entire career in Denver until last season when Jamal Murray got hurt. And in the postseason, he had a lot of big games where he was, probably their second best player on the court. And that's saying something, honestly. Look, I think he's primed to have a big year. He got paid, I think, going into last season. So, kind of a bargain that he's your backup point guard. That's why he did get, a nice contract, though, for being a backup. Because he's a starter quality point guard. I think he's going to have a very good season. I think people are going to see how good he really is. And that's why, regular season-wise, there won't be much of a drop-off with this Nuggets team. Because they got a guy like Monte Morris who is, who can really, control the offense in a different kind of way, but still a very effective way. So I think You know, I could have easily went with his teammate Michael Porter Jr. because he's probably going to average like 25 points per game this season. But that would be boring. I want to give some light to some guys that are kind of under the radar, but I think are going to have nice, very good seasons this year. And with that being said, that's my short list. Probably forgetting some guys, but this was all off of the top. Like, I just thought about this video like 10 minutes before I recorded it. So if you guys agree, disagree, have some other candidates that you think are going to be breakout players this season, let me know in the comments. I'm always interested to see what your guys' thoughts are. And I'll be back next time with another video, y'all. Peace.